Throughout history, people have wondered if the world was approaching its final days. Whenever humanity faced great turmoil, natural disasters, or moral decline, many have looked to ancient prophecies for signs. But the question remains, are we now, in this era, living in the end times? Today, the world seems to be in a state of constant upheaval. Wars rage in multiple regions. Countries that were once stable now face chaos and division. Powerful nations clash, and political tensions have reached new heights. Conflicts seem to flare up overnight, drawing in global powers and affecting people on every continent. Are these mere cycles of history, or are they part of a greater unfolding prophecy? Consider the natural world. Earthquakes, floods, and wildfires are growing in intensity and frequency. These are no longer rare occurrences, they have become part of our reality. Massive hurricanes batter coastlines, displacing millions. Landslides, volcanic eruptions, and droughts create humanitarian crises that were once unimaginable. The balance of the earth seems to be shifting. Could this unrest in nature be a signal of something more profound? In addition to wars and natural disasters, the world is experiencing unprecedented moral and societal change. Many values and ethical boundaries that held societies together for centuries are being redefined or discarded. Truth is increasingly subjective, and moral relativism has taken root. Corruption is widespread, and justice often feels elusive. The gap between the wealthy and the poor widens, and greed seems to dominate hearts and minds. Technology, while advancing rapidly, brings with it concerns of surveillance, control, and even artificial intelligence that could disrupt the fabric of society. These changes echo many ancient prophecies. The predictions speak of a time when corruption will spread, when lies will be accepted as truth, and when the voices of the righteous will be drowned out by the clamour of deceit. It is said that in the end times, people will become obsessed with material wealth and worldly pleasures, turning away from spirituality and higher purpose. This world, as it is today, seems to mirror those descriptions. But what comes next? The ancient texts describe the arrival of a figure who will restore justice and truth in a world that has gone astray. This figure will face opposition, but his mission will be to guide humanity back to righteousness. He will not come alone. He will be accompanied by a return that has been long foretold, the return of Jesus. Yes, according to these prophecies, Jesus will return to the earth. He will descend at a time when confusion and chaos have reached their peak. His return is not one of destruction, but of mercy and justice. He will uphold the truth and stand against the forces of deception. His role is to unify humanity under a banner of peace, to dispel falsehoods, and to support the righteous leader who will already be working to bring justice to the world. This return of Jesus is not a myth or a distant fantasy. It is a promise, a beacon of hope for those who feel lost in the storm of modern life. His coming signifies a renewal, a purification of the world before the final chapter of humanity's journey. The struggles we see today, the wars, the disasters, the moral decay, are seen by many as signs leading up to this pivotal moment. There is also the concept of a great deceiver, a figure who will emerge to lead people astray before the final events unfold. This figure will spread corruption and mask falsehood as truth. People will be drawn to him, seduced by his promises and power, unaware of the trap that lies before them. The world will be tested, and those with steadfast hearts and clarity of faith will be the ones who endure. It is easy to look at the state of the world and feel despair. But prophecies also offer guidance and reassurance. They remind us that no matter how dark the night becomes, the dawn is inevitable. The trials and challenges we face are not meaningless. They are part of a greater plan. They urge us to prepare, to reflect, and to seek truth in a time when deception is widespread. In moments of uncertainty, it helps to remember that the return of justice and peace is promised. Just as night turns to day, chaos will give way to order. The descent of Jesus and the emergence of a righteous leader are signs that mercy has not been withdrawn. There is still hope for humanity, and there is still a path to redemption. Whether or not we are living in the final moments of history is something only time will reveal. But the signs around us are difficult to ignore. They challenge us to look beyond the surface of events and seek a deeper understanding. They remind us that our actions, our choices, and our pursuit of truth matter more than ever. In a world where so much feels uncertain, the ancient promises stand firm. They assure us that justice will prevail, that truth will overcome falsehood, and that those who hold to righteousness will be rewarded. These prophecies are not meant to frighten us. They are meant to prepare us, to give us a roadmap through the trials we face. They remind us that the end is not simply destruction, but also renewal, the beginning of a better and more just world. And so, as the world continues to tremble under the weight of its struggles, we are left with a choice. Do we dismiss the signs and carry on as if nothing is happening? Or do we reflect, prepare, and seek the deeper truths that have been foretold for generations? The answer may shape not only our lives, but the destiny of humanity itself.